Right, welcome back to Icewind Dale. This is Rime of the Frostmaiden. We're on episode 6. Our adventurers, just after completing a quest, kind of just hung out in the tavern, went to bed in like the early afternoon and woke up at night and hung out. Heard about some interesting rumors going on around in Icewind Dale, and tracked down a weird person who turned out to be 3 kobolds, and got some information before they vanished. So yeah, we're picking up there. It's still like 4:30 a.m. You're hanging out in the tavern. It is the 3rd of Eliant in Bryn Shander. You're at the Northlook Inn.
We left it where like we had a conversation and kind of both like all got together and told each other everything that happened, right? Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, just kind of a rundown of kind of loose threads. On top of like the main thing that's going on with the endless winter, the everlasting rime, and the strange auroras, you are seeking chawingas, which are these elemental spirit things that someone is studying they think might be able to help the situation. You've heard rumors of a murderer who has gone around recently in a few different towns. You've heard in Candlelights, the town speaker has fallen ill, but no one has really seen or heard from him in a few months. You've heard in Konig. Oh, you did hear about someone who had an eyewitness account of chawingas in Konig. But also you've heard recently stories about disappearances, items going missing, possibly a bunch of theft. And what else did you learn last time?
Was that theft in Konig?
Konig. Yep.
And okay.
And how far is that?
We can look at the maps. So here is a map of the 10 towns. You guys are in Bryn Shander, and Dinaval and Konig are on the coast of Lackdinashire. On this map, it's to the right, but this map north is kind of in the upper right corner. So north, south, east, west is a little bit wonky on this map. But they're the 2 towns to the kind of northeast on Lackdinashire. So this was a map of 10 towns you guys found in Candlekeep. So you can use that as a reference whenever.
So it looks like it's like 20 miles away. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a main road between Bryn Shander and East Haven. There's a main road called the Eastway. So a good the first part of that travel anyway, you're on a very well trodden road.
It would have been cool if I heard gossip in a town that was closer.
I don't think anything's close.
Well, the most recent murder they talked about was just a few nights ago in Bryn Shander.
Oh.
So that's pretty close to where you are.
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
We could ask the sheriff maybe in the morning about that murder. Investigate that.
Yeah, I think we had talked about that we could talk to him about what he knows, and then also like about the murders while we're there. I would say that I would probably like just go back to the room and like chill out, rest, sleep until the morning. We'll
Maybe like
you guys kind of like had a sleep and woke up about 4 hours ago.
yeah.
Like the last couple nights, you went to bed like early afternoon.
Yeah. But like, I don't know what else we would do in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So, got to get back on that normal sleep schedule. Got to try to sleep even if you're not tired, type of thing.
guess Icewind Dale doesn't have daylight savings time.
Yeah, right. I don't know, unless anyone else has
they don't
something
have that
else
much daylight at the moment.
Yeah, right. Yeah, unless anyone else has anything they would want to do, like I would probably just like go chill in my room and like doze off, whatever.
Did we purchase separate rooms?
I think we got 2 rooms.
2 rooms.
Oh,
And you've paid for 1 night's worth at the moment. But you said you were going to stay for 3 days.
Get it.
Yeah, why don't we just rest for a couple hours and then go check out the sheriff in the morning, the reasonable morning.
Yeah. We have the sheriff and the
Sounds good.
speaker both in town hall that we want to talk to.
Okay, yeah, you can wait a few hours until a more reasonable morning time, where it's still dark out, but getting up at like 8, 9 o'clock.
Sure.
sounds
Yep.
good.
All right, yeah, and you can make your way from the North Look down to kind of the center of the town. There's a kind of a bunch of like little trading shops and markets. It's still not very crowded. It's just really cold. Most people are taking their commerce indoors and staying off the streets as much as possible. But you do, when you get to the town hall, there is a little bit of hustle and bustle. Still not super crowded, especially if you guys are used to the bigger cities. But there's some people here. And you come in and you can find there's basically kind of like a receptionist set up with a short line of people waiting. So I assume you're going to just wait in line. All right, and when you have your turn, he will welcome you and ask how he can best serve you. So basically, a human man, just not nothing super interesting. He looks like a guy working at a town hall, directing people.
Are there any posters or anything around in the room or anything of interest? Or are we talking to him?
This main room is kind of like an entrance hall. There isn't a whole lot of interesting decorations. It seems very like, I'm trying to think of a good word for it. It's here for its purpose. It's not really here for decoration, I guess.
Austere.
Sure.
Are there any wanted posters?
If you look around, there might have been like a bulletin board or something outside. But as far as in the room, there's not too much.
Got it.
So yeah, welcome to Town Hall. My name is Tennis. How may I serve you?
Hello. We have been sent from Candlekeep on a journey here. We were wondering if we could be granted an audience with the speaker to see if we can assist in any way.
and he just looks a little bit confused. Obviously, this isn't something that he hears every day. He's probably most of people just looking for fishing permits and such. And so he'll like, "You're from Candlekeep, you say? So interesting. I will hold on," and he's basically gonna go see what he can do. And so you wait a moment, and he'll come back, and he will set up a meeting. He'll explain that he can't set up a meeting with the speaker. Like she's very busy and like keeping everything running. But he can set up a meeting with someone else. Who is that?
So I'm asking my group here, are we seeing the speaker or the sheriff?
Both.
Okay.
But I thought I would ask about the speaker first.
What does the speaker do?
They're like the mayor.
Mayor versus like police.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like mayor and chief of police. So like I figured we want to talk to both of them, but I thought I'd start with the speaker. See if they have any. I mean, if anyone has information, it's got to be like the head honchos of the town.
Right. We're mainly asking about the murders, or if there's anything you want help with.
Arcane Brotherhood.
I was going to ask about just in general, the whole thing that's going on and with the sacrifices and like if they know anything about the eternal winter.
Yeah, he's gonna set you up with a meeting later this afternoon with one of the sheriff's deputies.
Oh.
Yeah, I can imagine like just walking into a town and asking to see their leader from just complete strangers. They're not really just going to be like, "Oh yes, let's stop everything we're doing and address this."
What?
But yes, they do have a representative who can meet with you later today.
And that would be the same representative for both the speaker and the sheriff. Is that like what?
So someone who represents the town more than those individuals.
Okay. I didn't know if it was worth asking about where the sheriff is, if we could talk to them too, or if he's just going to say, "Oh, the same person's going to help you."
Yeah, if the sheriff might be another route to go through to set up a meeting with him, but you assume you'd have the same issue. You're not gonna be able to just walk up to him.
Okay.
This isn't a huge town, but there's at least a little bit of bureaucracy in between the leadership and the public. And he will explain that next month there is a council of speakers, and before those meetings, they usually have a public kind of town hall where people can come and voice concerns that will get brought up in the next council.
Okay.
But that's going to be next month. So at the very least, if they can't see you now, there's a public meeting held every 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, I got distracted. They said they can't see us for. Okay, if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, you do have a meeting set up for later today, but there's also just in general there's a standing like public meeting every 3 months.
And who is it that we're meeting with?
You are meeting with. Making me find the name. That is the wrong person.
Gerald von Snausen.
Is that a German?
He also makes German cheesecake on the side.
I love him already.
Everyone's got a side hustle.
It's Deputy Selly, Selly.
Deputy Selly. Okay.
Yeah, he works with Sheriff Martin. But he'll be available if representatives of Candlekeep are coming. He'll meet with you and discuss how Bryn Shander can help Candlekeep and vice versa.
Okay. Wait, what did you say the sheriff's name was? I had Southwell down.
Yeah, Sheriff Southwell.
Okay. Sorry, I thought I heard something else.
Deputy Selly.
Okay.
I wonder if we're going to have to convince them that we're good or can be of help.
Mm-hmm.
By telling about our past exploits. We saw that the sleigh and got that stolen property back. I wonder if they reported that.
Mm-hmm.
Notice I overlooked this. So you do see on a wall there is a decoration. It appears to be the town's heraldry. It looks like a shield that has basically the background of a snowy tundra with pictures of antlers and wheat in front of it. The antlers are black, and it's a vertical shaft of golden wheat. So that's like the town's insignia.
Okay. What time today was our meeting?
It'll be at 3 p.m.
Okay. Here or?
Yep, they can meet you here.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'll look at the rest of the guys and be like, are we just waiting to talk to them, or is there anything else you wanted to try to ask about?
I think we're going to get a general response.
Yeah. I'm assuming we won't get anything until we talk to person.
Yes, unless you need a fishing permit or a hunting permit or any normal town services. That's about all I can help you with.
Okay.
I'd like a fishing permit.
Okay, you want to move into the next line?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm gonna have if you want to stand there, I'll have you roll a d4. Okay, it'll take 3 hours of waiting to go through and fill out paperwork to retrieve a fishing permit.
Okay. I'll stand in the line for now.
Okay. So Jack is waiting and doing paperwork.
Is there another, say, like, place of worship that we could go to?
The only places in town that you've known about are the House of the Morning Lord and the House of the Triad.
We can go to the house, the Triad guys, see if there's any information there. Because I don't know about you, I'm not waiting for paperwork.
No.
No.
What?
I also think that we should probably discuss as a group how we are going to like move forward and approaching what we're doing and how, to get people to actually answer.
We need to sort out our priorities.
Yeah. I don't think people are going to take kindly for us just walking in and be like, we know like that you need help and you need to let us do whatever we need to help you with something that you think that you're doing the right way, but we say is the wrong way.
A good backstory, a resume of helping people or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think we need to get on the same page of like how we want to approach, especially when we're trying to talk to like leaders of towns when we go to all these places. Like, they're not really gonna like take kindly to some stranger like coming in and trying to give advice or whatever.
We'll do a good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, maybe.
And if they were a kobold, I would say bad cop. But I mean, couldn't we just go with the simple approach of, I can't imagine anybody here really wants, a everlasting winter, and we're here to try to help, find information along with them and not just accept it.
Yeah.
Could go in straightforward and say we're adventurers and we're looking to help out in any way that we can. I don't see why we have to make a big deal about it beyond what we're already doing.
Yeah.
Might be desperate.
No, what would be a reason if they would be hesitant to give any information again? Like spies or anything?
Like, are you asking a reason that you guys would be hesitant to give information, or a reason
Like
somebody...
any of the locals or like anyone who actually needs help with the situation that we're in? Like any other town leaders?
I don't think you don't really know too much about the other towns as of yet. It's kind of the first one you've tried to look into. But your main goal, what you were hired for, was basically just to come up here and, one, to just see what was going on, and two, to just help out any way you can.
Got it.
That's kind of the main things. Like Candlekeep's obviously the primary objective is to preserve knowledge, and it seems like this area is going through a difficult time. So just anything you can learn about it to preserve the knowledge would be good. But also, if you can help out, that's obviously good too.
Got it.
But yeah, you don't. Other than the Chowingas, they didn't give you really anything specific to go on. But that was mostly because they didn't have any information to go on themselves.
I just want us to be cautious and not be the people that come in asking a bunch of questions. Like, all right, now who's this person and where is this and where can we find these, and seem too much, I guess.
So what are the rest of you doing while Jack is waiting in line? Are you just hanging out, or are you going somewhere else? Or?
I would say go House of the Trident, see if we can find out anything extra.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Jack, you staying here, or you want us to go on without you?
Are y'all leaving yet? Are there any refreshments nearby?
There do not appear to be. It's just a line of people that seem to go up a flight of stairs.
Okay. If y'all are ready to go, I'll just get this guy to hold my spot in the line. All right, let's go.
All right, you guys are heading down to the House of the Triad. First, as you pass it on the way in, it's the largest place of worship in the city. It you can tell it's got some dwarvish construction. The outside, the architecture of it is rather impressive. It is slightly taller than most of the buildings, but it is still kind of kept low about the height of the walls of the city, so it doesn't have to deal with all the winds.
Yeah.
And sorry, refresh me. The triad. It was there's like multiple gods here.
Yeah, this one honors the god Tyr, Torm, and Ilmater.
Okay.
And we'll let the cleric and the paladin make a religion check if you want.
All right. With the religion bonus, 16.
16, okay. I'm checking this information before I say it to make sure it is correct. There's the thing I need to see. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So you would know Tyr is the god of justice, Torm is the god of like duty and loyalty, and Ilmater is kind of the god of suffering, but like suffering for good, more like endurance or patience. Tyr, as a god, actually died once and came back. He came back maybe about 13 years ago.
How did he come back?
Yeah, you would know there's a whole big ordeal called the Sundering, which goes into like, yeah, there's a whole long history with the gods. There was the spell plague was or even before the spell plague, there was the time of troubles, where basically all the gods were cast onto the mortal realm as mortals and hung out for a while. So that a lot of people learned a lot of things about the gods at that time because they walked among the land. Then they went back to that got fixed. And the spell plague came and magic went really wonky. That was just over 100 years ago. And that mostly didn't get resolved until fairly recently with an event called the Second Sundering, where there's two worlds of Beer and Toril. We're on the planet Toril. Basically, they used to be one world, and then they got split apart, and then it started to come back together again, and they got split apart again. And so that most recent one is the Second Sundering, and along with that, a bunch of reality kind of got reset to the way it was, and Tyr managed to come back to life during that event. So somehow in the magic that caused the Sundering, Tyr was able to use that to return. So probably none of that matters too much to what's going on right now, but that's just some history of the world that you would know some of that for just being a cleric. But yeah, if you're coming in here, other than just kind of being impressed at the building, there's not a whole lot going on here right now. There are some worshippers kind of going about their day doing their own thing. Part of the building seems to be treated kind of like a clinic, maybe. There's some people there being treated for just injuries or frostbite or stuff like that. And mixed in there is probably some beds where people who don't have anywhere else to stay are occupying.
I could have just stayed here and saved us some money.
The conditions at the inn do seem much nicer than the conditions here.
Doesn't bother me.
Jack can sleep anywhere, right?
Yeah. Told you. It was rough on Turtle Island.
Oh.
I want to strike up a conversation with one of the worshippers.
Okay.
Air Raider worshippers nearby?
What was that? Ilmater?
Elmater, yeah.
Yeah.
Worshippers.
The Ilmater worshippers are the ones probably tending to the injured. But yeah, you do see a couple of clerics basically casting healing spells or getting bandages ready. Kind of acting like nurses in there. So yeah, you can find someone to talk to.
I'm gonna go strike up a conversation with one of them.
Okay.
And
yep, they will welcome you to the Triad and ask if you need anything or have any reason to give praise or anything that you would like them to suffer over with you.
yeah, I have this rash I don't want to, tell anybody about. Get dealt with. It's kind of an awkward place in my shell. Do you think y'all could help me out with that?
All right, and they will basically pause and give. They just kind of look sad for a moment, and we're like, "Well, we'll give thanks to the crying God for your suffering, and see if it's time for it to end, or if it's there to help you continue." And just kind of basically pauses and puts a hand on you, and it does seem to feel a little bit better.
Man, thank y'all.
Can we just add this in things the DM never expects someone to say, file? So I've got this rash. Wait, what? What?
Y'all didn't hear that. I'm near the privacy screen.
If there are if we're by the six sad people, can I play a very soothing harp song?
Sure. Yeah, give a performance check.
Do I have a harp? No, that's not what I want.
You've got a
I'll do a lyre.
lyre.
That's
okay.
close enough. Yeah, that's gonna be a 23.
Yeah, you do.
My song heals.
Lighten the mood. It's more like I think you are giving inspiration to the healers.
Good. Oh, good. That works.
But yeah,
While inspirations.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say while the inspiration being given. I'll ask one of the healers if there's been an increase in people being injured lately, a couple months.
There have been a lot of people stuck out in the cold, especially when travelers or hunters or anyone leaves the city walls and don't get back in time. Then they're kind of stuck outside the gate until the next day. That's caused some harm, and we've had some success at healing it though. It's pretty common to get caught in the cold out here.
Anything unusual beyond not seeking shelter in time?
There's not been a whole lot unusual. Yeah, they're trying to think of something. They do kind of see a little bit of everything, but nothing stands out.
I assume I'm kind of near Earl. Have y'all heard anything about the thefts or any of the stuff here lately?
Nothing's been stolen from us recently.
The murder was what was here, right?
Yes, there was a murder several days ago. But yeah, they don't get too many murder victims coming in looking for healing. So that case probably didn't. They probably heard about the murder, but that didn't come through here.
Are there any of the people being treated that are close to death, or are they all just doing okay?
Looking around, most of the people here, no one seems that like desperately ill. Some of them are better than others, but they all seem to be able to like at least be up and about if they wanted to be, and it's more just kind of like a rest and recovery location. I'd say like kind of the most severe thing you see is someone that seems to have had their arm amputated because it's too cold, frostbite.
Are there many other healing spots in the city besides y'all?
This is the main one. Luckily, we do have Ilmater, our the one who endures, helps us endure, and we take care of those others who are suffering. So yeah, it's kind of a weird doctrine here that if you haven't been around the Church of Ilmater too much, is this kind of weird balance of like suffering and healing.
I'll whisper to Earl. I guess the killer got away unscathed. We haven't seen him.
And after being here a while, you do notice a lot of the worshippers of Ilmater, they have basically red cords wrapped around their wrists.
Doing some like.
Could I do like
self-harm suffering things?
Ooh. As a cleric, would I know what cords represent, or would I have to do like a perception or an insight check?
Go ahead and do another religion check.
$17.
So yeah, you may not have been at the top of your mind, but once you see it, you recognize that's the holy symbol of Ilmater is basically two hands doing this wrapped in red cords. So that's probably just a way they are honoring Ilmater by copying the holy symbol.
I'm going to ask the worshiper that we're all speaking to, is there anywhere in town or anyone in town that handles the dead? Any morgues or catacombs nearby?
There is basically an undertaker. Most of, I don't think I have anything listed on the map. Basically, there's nowhere to like intern the dead in town, really. So most of the time they're taken out of the city, and it's usually in the summer where the ground is a bit softer. They have a burial place out of town. But so far in this winter, that's not really accessible. That's a good question, and I, as the DM, don't have an answer off the top of my head because I don't know what they would do.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Dump the DM. Good job. That's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still around.
I
We
don't know,
could
they're
like,
like-
Just to break the immersion, like most of these places have like 2 sentences written about them, and so I'm extrapolating from that. And I've filled in my own notes with quite a bit more than what was provided, and it still seems very inadequate to like run the town. But that's what I got. So almost all of the stuff you're interacting with, I'm making up on the spot. So that's how this goes. But that's why I'm like, hold on a minute, let me go look up something because I don't know.
Got it.
Yeah. But yeah, they probably have a system where they are taking like anyone who's passed away in the last 2 years. They probably have a difficulty burying them here. So they probably have a location where they're basically putting them until like they're going to preserve in the cold, but basically keep them until they have an opportunity to bury them, which hasn't happened yet.
Mm.
And I'm sure there is someone in town responsible for handling.
Okay.
so have y'all heard of anything else out of the ordinary besides the murder? Speaking to the nurse.
I mean, there's beyond the obvious. I don't know that they have anything else that you haven't heard already. I'm trying to double check my book to see if there's any more information that you could have, and then I will just let you have it.
Do they deal with the sacrifices?
Not really. Basically, if you're asking the question about how that all works, basically when they run a lottery to pick someone, that person is basically just led out into the cold and left there. Is how that happens. So.
And that person who's let out in the cold, they just willingly die? Like, has anyone who's been chosen for the lottery just been like, nope, not doing this?
Plenty of people have not agreed with it, but they have the entire militia and the support of the town. Since they started agreeing to do this, the town has accepted that it's the best way to appease the Frostmaiden.
So you couldn't like start over in another town or something like that, or do they like just leave you out there with nothing, assuming that you wouldn't be able to make it there?
Most of them wouldn't be welcome in another town if they could survive long enough to get there.
Is it like a known thing? Are you like marked with like the mark of like you've been?
Yeah, there'd be they probably wouldn't be physically marked, but people would know like this is the person whose name was drawn. So if that person showed up in another town, the other town wouldn't want the wrath of the Frostmaiden upon them. So that would be pretty nasty business to try to take away something that the Frostmaiden sees as hers.
Maybe they put you out there naked. You don't have that much time.
Yeah, it's very cold and very windy. There's not if you don't have any protection, it's not going to take long.
I would just be like, I'm just gonna come up with a new name and go to another town and like try to make it work.
Well, if we're not hearing anything else from the House of Worship, why don't we just mosey on back to 3:00 meeting?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can, if you wanted to wander about town a bit. There is, it's marked here, there's another, basically tavern, Kelvin's Comfort, closer to the center of town. There is, what else is around? Not a whole lot. Yeah, basically the shop's closer to the center of town. But yeah, if you want to hang out for a bit and then skip on to your meeting. Yeah, so if you're coming in for the meeting, you will be basically directed up to a room, basically an office on the upper floor of the town hall, and you will meet with Deputy Sally.
As we walk up there, I'm gonna grab my spot on the line. See how far it's moved.
Okay, by
way out.
By then it would have been gone. If you were, that would have been a couple hours ago. So if you wanted to come back and get your fishing permit, I'll say you can do that.
All right.
Are you which lake are you interested in fishing?
One closest by now.
So Bryn Shander is the one town that's not on a lake.
General one.
You have Mayor Dualden to the west.
Yeah, Mayor Dualden is the biggest one. And it would be, the next town over is Targos, and so that's the big fishing village on Mayor Dualden. Lac Dinashar is the other way, and then the smallest one is Red Waters.
Where was Old Bitey from?
Old Bitey was from Mayor Dualden.
I want it from there. Okay.
And do you want to join the Fishmongers Guild of Targos, or the dock is one of the? I have to look it up. What the guild's name is? There's basically a fishing guild in Targos. So if you want to fish in their portion of Mir Dualden, you'll have to join the guild. Otherwise, you'd have to go further north to Tourmaline or Lonelywood to go fishing.
Where was Bitey caught at?
Old Bitey was caught in Targos' waters. Was the Dock Workers Guild? Yeah. So if you're fishing in Targos, you're gonna have to pay money to the Dock Workers Guild.
Oh.
So is that the only one? Because you could get basically a permit that covers like everything, but it'll cost more. Or if you just want that one area, you can just do that. Okay.
Yep.
So
the subplot you didn't know was happening.
Apparently.
No, there's rules for fishing. I've got that.
Hey, y'all can go to the meeting. I'll catch up.
I'm imagining you did this like while we were like waiting before our meeting. So
your permit is going to be 10 silver, and your guild fee is going to be another 2 silver. So that's 12 silver total, and you will have the rights to fish on Mare Dualden. I need to see the map to know where.
I paid.
All right. Give me the map. I want to see the map. Okay, yeah. So on Mayor Duwalden, basically, if you draw a straight line from Bryn Shander to the north, you can fish anywhere to the west of that, and you will be fine. So anywhere near Targos and Bremen or the western side of Mayor Duwalden.
Good.
Your permits get you covered there. And if you need any services for like cleaning the fish or any boating supplies, dock supplies, you can do that. Your permit will cover you for anything in Bremen or Targos. They will provide services to you. Anywhere else, they might basically they might deny you service or they might charge you an extra fee.
All right. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
All right, I'm gonna run up the stairs and catch up.
All right. We spend the next several episodes fishing, right?
I have a plan for this license.
All right, and yeah, you can meet with Deputy Selly. He's a human. He's wearing a, how do I describe his uniform? It's basically a military uniform, but it's bundled up. It's warm.
Like a nice like Russian one.
Yeah, it's blue. He's got with like a kind of like a leather coat over it. And basically, like, how can I help you? You are from Candlekeep, right?
Can I just say I'm immediately intrigued by his outfit?
Oh, well, thank you. It's basically the uniform is like I always forget a word when I'm about to speak. It's issued by the militia, and it's a jacket that I've had tailored to my specification.
Noted.
But I assume Candlekeep didn't come here to discuss fashions.
Yes. So, we were sent here to find out more about this eternal winter that has been plaguing the area and do whatever we can to assist.
And he kind of smiles and he's like, well, I don't know that there's much more to find out. We have a god who's bringing us the winter. As far as assistance, if and he kind of his smile kind of recedes, and he's like, if we could hire more people if we had the resources to hire someone to assist, we would probably instead use those resources to help feed our citizens. So unfortunately, I don't know that we could compensate you for any assistance at this time.
I'm quite sure a song will do.
What?
So basically, he's just like he's glad you're here to help, but he's not sure how they can really make an arrangement because he assumes you're not just going to work for free.
We'll come up with a plan. One hand scratches the other.
And it's as far as like helping the militia, you guys aren't trained by the militia, so that's like if you wanted to join the militia, you're welcome to, but that doesn't seem to be what you're here for either.
No, we are, well, like where we can, but we heard through some gossip that there was a murder that happened a couple, potentially.
And he seems to,
You know anything about that?
he seems to pause for a moment. Is like these tales get so blown out of proportion. There was an accident. The glassblower passed away. It was terrible business, but I don't see any murder here. People are dying of cold. People are dying of starvation. People are working to keep themselves alive. I don't see anyone just going out and killing people on the street. That's one thing that hasn't happened in Bryn Shander.
Well, it's happening. You just got to get out of your office.
But is it happening in some of the other 10 towns?
Well, I'm here to serve Bryn Shander. The other towns can handle themselves.
Do you know anything about kobolds in the town?
We've seen them in the tundra from time to time. They're nasty sometimes. We've killed a few.
We encountered some in town just last night in one of the taverns.
And he kind of just laughs. He doesn't really take much stock in your story. Like, well, if you guys want to just come and chase kobolds for us, you're welcome to. But other than that, I think I'll say my good days.
Can I ask
There's nothing else.
if you know of a Valine Harple?
No, can't say that I do. And so yeah, he's kind of just seems a little bit impatient. Like he's been pleasant so far, but he doesn't really see this going anywhere. So he's kind of eager to kind of get back to what he was doing.
Well, where was the guy whose accident happened? Is there anybody that witnessed the accident?
Yeah, he was found dead next to his shop. It seemed like icicles fell on him. It happens sometimes. It's unfortunate, but
You care if we look around?
he'll basically just like, just don't get in our way. It's nice if you're here to help, but don't cause any issues.
I don't think we're going to get anything else.
Is this the deputy or the sheriff we were talking
This
to?
is the deputy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he might not know what's going on either. He's just a low man.
I think that's as high as we're going to get to talk to, though.
So yeah, he'll thank you for your offer, and if there's anything substantial that you find or you can help with, then thank you, and let us know. But otherwise, he doesn't see any arrangement to be made here today.
Okay.
Basically, in the nutshell, you get a feeling like they're busy just like dealing with the situation and just trying to make do with life the way it is. That if you don't if you don't have anything to really offer them or any like concrete evidence of something, there's not much they're going to do about it anyway. And they don't have anything that they can like hire you for, so it's not a whole lot to be done at this time. So, he'll thank you and basically see you out.
Are you guys wanting to try to find where the glass blower is and look into that, or?
Truthfully, I want to go. I want to go to another town.
Yeah. I think the best lead we had here was at the House of the Morning Lord, but they won't have information for us for 1 to 10 days. So
I think we could come back in 10 days to Bryn Shander, and perhaps we go to, I'm going to mispronounce this, Caircondel?
Cairconig, or that's the northernmost one.
Of course, is the furthest away.
So the closest, well, there's quite a grouping around Mare Dualden.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 cities that are quite close all around that. I would suggest that might be a good place to start, because then we can kind of, check out all 3 in a relatively short time span.
Yeah, I think Targos is a good place to start.
Here, let me see if I can make someone make an investigation check.
Okay.
I got a dirty 20.
Okay. So between asking around and what you remember from your maps at Candlekeep, and what your recent experience traveling just through the open snow and tundra, even though it's like a direct line of sight, you guys experience that firsthand. That's very slow, very difficult, arduous travel. Sticking to the roads is a lot safer and a lot easier. And as far as the roads go, that way that you are that you're looking towards, there's a road between Bryn Shander and Targos. Targos is the second largest town and the closest one to Bryn Shander. There's a road straight there. From Targos, there's a road to Bremen and a road to Tourmaline. So as far as getting around Mare Dualden, along the road, you're kind of Targos and Bremen are pretty close. Tourmaline and Lonelywood are pretty far up the road. And then you're kind of, if you're sticking to the roads, the only thing to do from there is turn around and come back. Then from Bryn Shander to East Haven, there's a really good road the whole way. East Haven is further away. But then there's basically an intersecting road off of the Eastway that leads between Goodmead and Cairdineval. So as far as like plotting travel and what's close or not, thinking about the roads is probably better than thinking about actual distance. And so, many of these towns you would go through another town to get to it, just by the way the roads travel.
Is travel across the lake a possibility?
Potentially. The lakes are more or less frozen over along the shore. It can be risky though. It's not completely frozen in the middle. And there are people who have boats and sailing vessels, potentially.
Yeah, I feel like going the west way and kind of that's going to be the quickest road route to at least getting to another town, and then relatively easy between those. And then we can come back to Bryn Shander after a 10-day, right? And then go from Bryn Shander down or north to the other ones.
Yeah. Be back in time to get more information.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is a sled out of the question?
It is nice. So you can purchase or rent sleds and dogs and make it a dog sled. There are horses. There's not as many, and it does seem to be a popular option. We've seen axe beaks. These things all have a cost. It kind of depends on if you're looking for like something an individual can ride, or if you're looking for something to carry several people and cargo. It gets expensive quick the more you buy.
Got it. Figured. Guess I'll hold off on that.
Let's see.
Are we outside of the building at this point?
Yeah, if you're heading out.
Okay, I'm gonna let my team know I do not really trust Deputy Sally. Just a side note. Kind of play things off a little bit too quickly.
Yeah, I agree. Even if he knew something, he probably wouldn't tell us.
That's what.
What does he know?
That's what I was thinking. Like, what are they going to tell? It's a very bureaucratic, like, oh, these people came in and like, let me tell them and placate them, like, oh, yes, thank you for coming. And then just kind of like not really say anything, because why are they going to tell some stranger about it, you know?
Yeah, they're willing to help.
I get it.
It's kind of like walking in and trying to ask if the president will talk to you.
Yeah.
But that's still a point for fashion, I will say that.
An empty dog sled. An empty dog sled costs 20 gold pieces, and each dog costs 50.
Ooh.
You'll probably need at least 2 dogs per sled, and you'll need more if you want it to be able to carry more.
Guess we'll be walking.
And an axe beak, you can get 50 gold pieces each. But an axe beak will carry basically one rider and some sacks. And I think Jack is a big turtle, so I think anything that's pulling him is gonna need to you need several dogs to pull one Jack, I think.
No. I say, wait, I don't need a sled. They can just pull me on the shell.
Yeah, just attach him to the back. Drag him along.
Yeah. Only at 382. That's nothing for a turtle.
What's that? That is
my cousins.
That is just a little bit beyond what an average dog sled dog could pull. So maybe you could get a more athletic dog, I'll say, And then you could have one dog could pull you in your shell if you really wanted to set that up.
I think
Yeah.
that really needs to be the end goal of the game here that we're doing, is that we make enough money to have like a bunch of dog sleds and like
Yeah, basically, each dog costs 50 gold pieces and can pull up to 360 pounds.
So multiple of us could fit on one sled, right?
Yeah, the sled itself weighs 300 pounds. So by the time you have the sled and one dog, you've only got 60 pounds that it can pull. So then if you want to start adding people to it, then you're going to need more dogs.
Got it.
But if you're not really concerned about cargo, axe beaks might be better. You need one per person. But they are... So dog sleds are really great on the road. That's probably the fastest way of travel. Axe beaks are decent on the road, and you've seen they're very good across the open snow.
And what, an axe beak can hold like one person?
You basically one person, and I'll say you can basically have a saddle with sacks of stuff in it. So it's not like they can't carry any extra cargo, but not as much as a sled. A sled.
I mean, like Heshesido is like literal wind, so she's like just she's nothing. Okay. So what's the plan, guys? What do you think? Go west? Do we want to try to get animals or something? Do we want to spend our money on that? In the long run, we'll get there faster, go through less rations and food. It's like spend your money here or there type of a thing, I feel like.
Sure, y'all know how I feel about it.
Although 50 gold is a lot. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't got anywhere near that.
Right. Okay.
Well, and then
I wouldn't have looked. I'm like, 10 gold. Okay.
Well, then the other thing to keep in mind for any living creature that you buy, you have to feed it and you give it shelter, and it has to sleep.
Oh, true. True.
I think we should just walk and save the money while we can. We don't know what we're going to encounter.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, that's always my vote.
And worst comes to worst, we use Jack as a sled.
I'm down with that idea.
It's got to be down. We'll make it.
Okay, well, do we want to stay here one more night and get started in the morning?
Because it is already dark out by this time.
Yeah, let's do that.
I mean, it's always dark out, but we would probably have to like stop for the night after a few hours. So one last nice warm soup and fire before we're out in the cold for a few days.
If you're planning to walk with snowshoes to Targos, you can, if you're at a normal speed on the road, it's about 3 miles away. So you think you can get there in 1 to 2 hours?
Oh, good.
So if you did want to go in the dark, you could go now. Get there by tonight. But if you want to stay here another night, that's good too.
We've already paid for the time at the end, right?
You've not. You paid for one night.
Okay.
You told them you were staying 3 nights, but you paid for 1 night. And it's 8 silver pieces per night per room here.
Let's just go get there. It's a safe town. We can arrive tired and just rest there.
All right, onward and young then.
Yeah, I'm good with whatever.
Just making sure I'm bundled up really well before we leave.
Can I get a trout stew to go? Do they have like a little travel mug? You know, one of those things where you twist off the top and can pour it in a cup.
Old Bitey souvenir cups.
Yes. If they're not doing that,
I'm sure you can finagle something to take your food with you.
I just want some nice hot soup to take with me for later.
It's a
Rather than
stein,
eating
like old bitey. Opens and you can pour it out.
Or at one of the markets, you could probably find like a thermos that you can purchase, and
Yeah,
then you can just have them fill that up with soup.
100%. I've done that.
I'll call it 5 copper for the thermos,
Sure. Worth it.
and I think I said 2 silver last time for the soup.
You got?
Okay.
Are you using your own money for this, or do you need the crew money?
I can use I'll use my own, the thermos is my own idea. I'm totally writing now that I have a thermos. Okay, let's add this to the inventory. I'm going to assume it's not beyond, so I'm just going to...
Yeah, I doubt it.
You got it back in a song.
1 thermos. Got it. Anybody else
I want
heading
to do
up
some
this
more shopping.
business?
No, I'll wait. But I want to do shopping in the next town. Look around at some more stores.
Well, we had a 10% discount at the Black Iron Blades if you need any weapony stuff.
Okay, so you guys are heading out the north gate and heading to Targos now?
Sure.
Yep.
All right, and yeah, since it is after dark, they'll say you are allowed to leave, but the door will be locked. You won't be able to come back into it until daybreak tomorrow.
Are we going to be able to get into Targos?
I think so. Let me see. I think Bryn Shander is the only one who shuts their gate. Bryn Shander and Targos are the only ones that have a wall, but I believe Targos is open. I will double check that for you.
I would double check that with the guards if before he'd shut it on us.
We can get in.
I'm glad you thought of that. I just would have went through and made do once we arrived.
Yeah, only because I noticed Targos also has a wall. So I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Targos will continue letting people in until about midnight.
Okay, and where we're at, we think we'll make it by midnight?
Yeah, if you are leaving, so if your meeting was at 3, and
it's probably 4 or 5.
Yeah, if you went shopping a little bit, and it's even 5, it's only going to take 90 minutes to get there.
Okay.
The weather is good so far.
Okay.
Good for Icewind Dale. So yeah, let's see. Yep, you head out and you can make your way to Targos. Update the map. Let's go here. You're traveling from Bryn Shander up to Targos. See Targos on the map?
On the Icewind Dale one?
Yeah.
No.
No,
I see any. Do you know what button I need to hit to see labels?
So on the upper left, there's the little journal notes icon. And then once you click on that, there's the toggle notes display. Sometimes you have to hit that.
One that looks like a bookmark.
Yeah. One looks like a bookmark and the one looks like a lollipop.
Okay. Thank you.
Then you can jump to the Targos
Targos.
map.
Whee.
So you come to the gate, and there are guards there. They don't give you any problem entering. And you see another town. It's a lot of the construction looks similar to where you just were. It is obviously not as big of a town, but it is the second most populated town of the 10 towns, as far as you've heard. This is the biggest fishing town.
I've got fishing gear for you, Jack.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we'll have to try it. We'll have to try it out here. So many piers.
Is it something we could maybe just ask the guards for suggestions of places to stay for the night?
I've really got. Let me double check again before. There's one of the inns that many travelers like is the Luskin Arms. That's down near the docks. And there are a couple taverns, but I'm not sure if they're also inns. Let me double check. That looks like it. That looks like the only inn that's actually in town.
Well, there you go.
So yep, you've got the Luskin Arms.
No decision needed.
I can pull that up on the map. Targos. There it is, down by the docks. So yeah, if you take the main road in until you get to the cliff, walk north around the cliff down to the docks, and you'll see it on the right.
Okay.
Came in on the
entrance to the city is to the south.
I see it now.
Yeah, this road. You did pass shortly before the city is where the road forks off, and that's the road to go north to Tourmaline. And you can keep going west to get to Brennan.
Okay.
And I'll say as you walk to the Luskin Arms, you will pass and you'll notice the Dockworkers Guild headquarters. That is on the map here, kind of in the middle of town.
The dock workers.
Yep, the Dockworkers Guild. That's who you paid 2 silver pieces to in Bryn Shander.
Heck yeah, I did.
Yeah, the Luskin Arms is the oldest public house in 10 towns. It was established even before Bryn Shander was a city. And many of the traders in the day hailed from Luskin, So this was built to look like an inn that might be found in Luskin. So yeah, as you enter, you see pennants bearing the arms of the 5 ships of Luskin's high captains hanging on the walls. And over the hearth, you see a map of the city.
Oh.
And so yeah, a man named Owen greets you, and I'm sure he's telling you all this kind of history of the place. He just likes meeting new people, new travelers, and giving them basically a tour of the common room here, and telling them about the history of the Luskin Arms and of Luskin, and anything else that he finds interesting here.
Nice.
Would
Is
that
it oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, would that history include perhaps what it was like pre-Eternal Winter versus what it's like now? Like how the people have adapted?
It's been really rough. A lot of people basically live their life off the lake. They got to go fishing for that knucklehead trout, and it's been far more difficult, especially since the docks have basically been frozen in. But the job still gets done. People are going out on the ice. So yeah, it's definitely been hard times the past couple of years, but we're still here.
How are there a lot of people in, or are there a lot other guests in right now, like looking around the place?
It does, compared to where you were at the Northlook. This place is rather quiet. They do kind of have like a dining room. There is only one other person there at the moment, eating some soup.
So no entertainment, you're telling me?
No.
Okay.
I think we're the entertainment.
Concert.
And this is a slightly taller building than the Luskin Arms. This one has a 3rd floor. So there might be more rooms here. You don't know if they're occupied. But as far as the kind of common area, not as many people.
Are y'all hungry? I knew we had ate already. A place to eat.
We can eat here, right?
Yeah,
Or
they
do you wanna
do.
go
They
somewhere
do have a kitchen here.
Should we go ahead and get rooms for the night? Like, see if he's got space? Assuming.
Yeah, how many rooms would you like?
How much does a room cost?
Each room will be, I think it's going to be the same. It's going to end up being the same.
Be cheaper here.
Per day, it's going to be 8 silver pieces per room.
We can do the 2 rooms again if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay. And he's going to do the same thing. He needs to register all your names and ask how long you plan to be staying.
8 per room?
Yeah, 8 silver 8 silver pieces per room.
All right.
Um,
Put me down for Lanu.
I mean, as far as how many days, we don't really know. We can start off with 2 and see how that goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. How do I don't know if I made a money error here. I just assumed my gold would convert to silver for some reason, like dollars and cents.
I don't think it'll do that for you. 1 gold is 10 silver pieces.
Okay. Let me break this down.
Yeah, he can make change for a gold if you need it.
I'm good. We're good for 2 rooms. Right, Lanu under my registry.
All right, he's taking it down.
Can we ask him of any notable places or people in town we should see or speak to?
Or anything unusual in the past couple of days?
Let's invite him to supper.
Like nothing too unusual here. We got Targos is mostly about the fishermen, and they keep pretty much the same schedule most of the time. As far as things to do around town, we've got there's 2 taverns, three flag sailing, and the Trip and Shuffle. If you're interested in shopping, there's basically a general store at Triglio, kind of up the main road, and there is a dwarven craft store.
Ooh.
But unless you're interested in the docks, there's not much else as far as sightseeing in the town. Most people really just come here for the fishing or for supplies for fishing.
How long have you been working at the inn?
He has been working at the inn for a while. He inherited it from his father.
Oh,
I think I've got this story here.
oh, that's plenty.
Yeah, he's basically lived here his whole life. And, yeah.
Owen, are you
What was that?
Owen, are you a fisherman yourself?
I have been, but I mostly tend to the inn. But I do enjoy fishing. I'm not as big on the ice fishing, but it's fun to get out sometimes.
Well, that's all you've been getting here lately is ice. What do you think about what's going on with the weather?
I mean, it's winter. It's a long winter, but we're making do.
Do you have any idea what's causing it?
They say it's a goddess. I don't know much about that, but I've seen the lights.
Lights, you say?
Have you known any?
Yeah, and he'll describe basically the auroras you've seen, but also there are sometimes lights over out in the tundra that move. They say those are her followers.
Like what I saw that one time.
So
What time?
the lights that are not like weather phenomena, like they're unnatural potentially.
Yeah, they've occasionally we'd see northern lights, but it's happening every single night. That's not normal. I mean, it's normal for the past 2 years, but before that, nothing like this.
So, Owen, you think those are followers out there? Have any of them came into town? What makes you think they're people?
I mean, that's just what I've heard. I don't know anything about it.
Hmm.
I mean, I certainly haven't seen anyone shining lights in town. But yeah, travelers' recommendations are just if you see those lights, just stay away.
Okay.
Well, do you guys want to kind of explore the town? Maybe go to a tavern, see if we can hear anything interesting, or
And
Before
I forgot what all else you asked, but if you asked about interesting people, he said, well, if you stay here in the next hour or so, Speaker Maxildanar should be back anytime. He rents the room upstairs.
uh-huh.
The town speaker Nerth Maxildanar actually lives here.
Well, yes.
Does he like fishing?
And basically, I don't know that he does, but he must if he. I haven't ever seen him out on a boat, but he must enjoy the fishing if he's in charge of everything that's going on in the town. I'd say I'd keep out of his way, though. He isn't. I'll say he isn't the most pleasant man to cross. But,
Okay. Well, thank you, Owen.
and he'll go back to the kitchen to see to. Did you guys order a meal? I don't remember.
We were gonna go to a bar and probably eat, I would imagine.
Okay.
You know, what y'all want to do.
But
If
if the
we've been-
speaker's coming here,
if we've been up
Oh,
since
you're right.
4th, are we at the point of exhaustion?
I don't think so. Because you also like rested again during the morning. So if you guys are trying to like stretch it out and go to bed at a more reasonable time, like I'll say you can do that. I'll say if you're still up like past midnight, you'll start pushing into some exhaustion.
I feel like maybe we should linger here to see if the speaker has anything.
We could
I don't
always
know.
split up. 2 of us try to talk to the speaker, 2 of us go bar hopping.
Hmm.
What time is it right now?
We can say it's like 7 o'clock.
Well, he said he'd be here in like the next hour, so either or.
So what do you guys want to do?
Where are the other taverns?
There's another tavern. I can mark it on the map. It's just up the way to the north of you guys. There is one called Three Flags Sailing. It's also near the docks. And there's one back up on the other side of the cliff called the Trip and Shuffle.
I like the sound of trip and shuffle.
And yeah, he also told you. Yeah, I can light these on it. He told you about the Dwarven Craft Shop. You can see he told you. You can see the town hall is there, and there's another. It's kind of a general store called Triglio. So you've got all of those lit up on the map.
Yeah, let's go to the trip and shuffle.
Are we splitting up or going together?
Say again?
Are we splitting up or going together?
I'm flexible. I'd
I
probably
mean-
hang out with Earl.
It wouldn't be a long wait, but if y'all want to go to the bars, then that's fine. I feel like it would behoove us to try to catch the speaker.
Well, in that case, if the speaker isn't particularly friendly, I can't imagine him being friendly with 4 people. So that's why I'd recommend a splitting up. Maybe 2 talk to the speaker, 2 go to the bars. I will nobly offer myself as someone who will go get a drink.
I'm with you, Earl. Let's get out of here. Y'all can catch him. Y'all try to catch him tonight. We can catch him in the morning. See if he'll talk to either one of us.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Okay, so is it Jack and Earl going to the trip and shuffle?
Yep.
Nothing
Yeah.
bad ever happens when you split the party.
No, not usually.
Just one drink. We'll be back before you know it.
Uh-huh.
Just one
Real
drink.
good drink.
Hey, what,
So, yeah,
Earl?
this seems coming into the trip and shuffle. You find it. It's along the wall of the city, and this place looks a little more run down than like the Northlook or other places you've been. It's a rougher tavern, but the mood inside is mostly subdued. There's people there drinking, having conversations. It's not super rowdy. They don't seem to offer a whole lot. You have basically a bartender introduces himself as Russell, and basically they have ale. They have where's my list? They're mostly serving just regular ale and they have East Haven Ale and they have Dwarven Stout. They're currently out of Honeymead. Oh, they also have Luskin Stout. Dwarven Stout, Luskin Stout, East Haven Ale, and they're out of Honeymead.
Oh, this is the second place that doesn't have honeymead. Is that due to a shipping issue again?
Yeah, they've seemed to have run out and they haven't received another shipment from Good Mead yet.
That's the real town mystery.
Yeah. Yeah, because now I really want honeymead. Dang it.
You've heard it's good.
Guess what else I need for that, Jack? I'll take a dwarven stout, and I'm good with just kind of seeing if we can listen in on the gossip.
Okay.
Sounds good. Also, I'll take a Dwarven and a Luskin, one for each hand. Any fishing advice you can give me?
All right. I mean, people in Targos pay good money for fishing instructions.
Come on. You can help me out. I'm new in town. I'll bring more business your way. I have a good time. How about baits? Popular bait.
If you head down to Triglio, they have a wide selection you can pick from. Yeah, they'll have different preferences for ice fishing, or depending on. We assume you're after the knucklehead trout, but if you're depending on what you're fishing for, you'll have different options.
All right, thanks.
And yeah, if you get the Dwarven Stout and the Luskin Stout, you will quickly notice that one of them is much stronger than the other.
What do I owe you?
That is going to be for 2 drinks. I'll just make it 2 silver pieces.
All right.
And Earl, go ahead and roll a d10.
Nine.
Most people are talking about where they went where fish was biting. But you do, after a little bit, you do hear a conversation that piques your interest, because they are also talking about a murder that took place here. Apparently, it was a shipbuilder. It was a 10-day ago. And they were also found with a dagger of ice through the heart.
Wow. Okay.
Sounds very familiar to what happened in Bryn Shander.
Okay. Kind of whisper that information to Jack.
I'll scoot in closer. See what's going on.
We got another ice pick murder here.
How would they use ice? So random.
Well, one positive, Jack. The ice pick murder is close to the lake. You can get in some fishing.
Sounds good to me. Okay. Starting to feel this dwarven stuff.
I would say, like, if we hear nothing else, like in the next hour or so, we can head back.
Yeah, there's nothing else that really comes up that seems as interesting as that. They're mostly just chatter of like local stuff going on, kind of day to day, mostly involving fishing.
Shipping dock, is it on the way back to
The docks? You're going to go past several docks on the way back.
Jack, do you want to explore the docks, see if we see anything unusual? Or maybe talk to a couple of the fishermen about that potential murder?
Yeah. It's getting kind of late, but yeah, let's go check it out.
We go through a happy jaunt to find a murderer.
I was going to say, nothing bad happens at the docks at night.
So we're
Consolidate. Let's go.
We're at night looking for a murderer by the docks. This sounds like another D&D campaign I did
This
once.
sounds very familiar, and it ended very badly. I am thankfully not there. Although the party was also split when more bad things happened. So y'all are on a great track with this.
Me and Earl have seen worse.
Absolutely.
Okay, just go ahead and make just an investigation check. Is anything specific you're looking for, or just kind of wandering around?
I think because we heard that it was an ice pick, I want to see if there are like blood stains around, or if there are any kind of like places where there are like less like ice shingles or something like that.
Okay.
I probably just set the wrong questions. Yeah, I'm committed. Needs to be good. 14.
Okay, you guys kind of take a leisurely stroll back to the inn. I assume you might walk a little bit further, a couple blocks further north around, and then walk back along the docks. It's cold. That's the main thing you notice. A lot of the docks seem to be more or less shut down. Ships are basically frozen in place on the water. You do see plenty of footprints. People are walking out across the ice out to the further out on the lake. It seems most of the fishermen have already kind of packed up their stuff for the day. So there's not a whole lot of traffic out now. You do see there's more people around the Three Flags Sailing Tavern, but kind of similar. The atmosphere as you look inside seems to be more subdued. People are just having a drink, having a meal, and getting ready for bed. Targos doesn't seem to be much of a party town. It's go out, catch fish, come home, go to sleep. Go out, catch fish, come home, go to sleep. And that's kind of the atmosphere you detect here. Nothing else really seems out of place from just a casual look around. Yeah, just looks like frozen docks.
Looks like we're not finding a murderer. How sad.
Well, I mainly just wanted to get a lay of the land so we can look
In the morning.
more clear in the morning.
Yeah,
Right, and
let's head back.
I can jump back in the meantime.
As we walk back,
Go ahead.
as we walk back, I'm always searching for turtle tracks in the snow.
Okay. All right. In the meantime, while they were away, we have Kashesi and Dewey were waiting, and yeah, after a little bit, you do see a man walk in, and basically he greets Owen. Owen hands him a package that looks like food has been wrapped up, and he will take it upstairs.
Oh,
So that's unless
can
you
I like
want to
stop and
him.
intercept him? Yes.
Right.
I'm going to maximum bard charm.
Okay. And yeah, you see him. You assume this is Speaker Nerth Maxildanar.
Okay.
He has kind of medium length dark hair. It's kind of like brushed back with like a thin beard. He like sees you like approaching. Like, who are you?
Hello, good sir. I do a very flourish, respectful bow. We are adventurers new in town. I was just hoping to be able to meet you and ask if there's anything we can do to assist in these trying times with eternal winter.
Do you have some way to assist with the eternal winter?
We are trying to figure it out.
All right, well, I'll let you do that. So, well met. Have a good night. And he'll turn and start heading upstairs.
What?
You kind of just get the impression that this guy is just kind of a dick.
Okay.
But yeah, he was just pretty short with you, and it just
Okay.
seemed like he wanted to eat his dinner in peace.
Fine.
And
You're
Is there
back
still
in
the
the.
one other guy in the place?
yes, you've seen maybe a couple other people come and go, but it's been pretty quiet here.
Okay.
I mean, Owen will come out and chat about anything and everything, but
Are we back with Kashesi and Dewey?
but yeah, after a little bit longer, you'll see them return.
Can we ask Owen about the the murder a couple days ago, or any rumors about that?
Yeah, he will basically repeat what you heard about 10 days ago. They found a human shipbuilder in the morning. He just had a dagger of ice through his heart, supposedly. Owen didn't know the man, but he was someone who lived in town. It's he kind of tries to look on the bright side. He's like the one kind of good thing from all of this is people have stopped questioning about when the summer is going to return and started talking about this, but wish it was a more pleasant distraction.
You had any thefts in this region, like the city we just left?
No, you haven't heard of anything.
How do you feel about Chawingas?
He doesn't know what you're talking about.
Like little spirity things? Make stuff happen around the edge of town? You haven't seen anything weird?
No, I haven't
city
seen anything
wall?
like that. No, sometimes the town militia will patrol on top of the walls, but that's about it.
Do you have a rough idea of what time the townspeople normally leaves in the morning?
He gets up pretty early on most days. It'll be out of here by 7 a.m. or so.
Okay. Do you want to try again in the morning?
Probably not. I don't know. Dewey's playing a very contemplative song on her lute, trying to figure out what we're supposed to do here.
You're bringing us down, Dewey.
Well, if anything, we've got a murderer going across multiple towns.
It's true. Probably should have stayed and asked about the one in Bryn Shander since that was more recent, but
Oh, was it?
yeah, that one had just happened like a couple days ago, right? And this one here is like a 10-day.
What's the connection between a shipbuilder and a glass blower?
And with that, you hear one of the other people in the room who's been quiet this whole time you'll hear a voice speak up. What's the connection? That's the right question. And you see her, seems to be an elderly shield dwarf. She's got a nasty scar across her nose. And yeah, she's been basically just sitting there quiet, smoking her pipe. But she's suddenly interested in what you are talking about.
Do you know anything
your name?
about what's been going on?
And she introduces herself as Lynn Trollbane, and says, "I'm a retired bounty hunter. I picked up this case because the town officials want nothing to do with it, or even to the point of denying it's happening. I mean, they're so bent over backwards trying to deal with the endless winter to really do anything of use. So I've picked up the case. I don't have all the evidence I need, but I'm pretty sure I know who did it. I mean, it's got to be who's done it."
I'll slide it
Ooh.
closer. Pull my chair over there.
What evidence are you missing?
And she kind of just takes a moment and looks at each one of you. It seems like she's deciding whether or not to share her story with you. But she
Before
go ahead.
Before you do that, where'd you get your pipe?
And she like pulls it out for a moment and looks at it, and she's like, "It's been in my family." And it's she'll show it to you. It's dwarven craft.
Any place to get tobacco around here, around these parts?
And she's kind of like struck by this strange change of topic. You're like, you can get what you need up at Triglio.
Earl
All right.
simply nods and says, "Family, I understand." Earl brings out the flute and says, "I carry this with me too, family."
And yeah, she will. She'll be like, "Well, I came over here because you look like people who might be willing to help. Is this true, or am I wasting my time again?"
We are looking
No.
at
You're not wasting.
I've been doing some research and some tracking. I'm old. You can tell I'm not a spring chicken. I need some help to see this through.
Did you say wasting your time again?
I've sought help before and not received it.
We haven't met a crew like us before.
All right.
What you got, and they will let you know what we can do to help.
There's a man named Cephik Caltro. He works for a small traveling merchant company. They call themselves Torgs. It's owned and operated by a shady dwarf named Torga Icewind. So they get around. They travel from town to town selling stuff. Cephik, he's charming. He makes friends easily, and he's Torga's bodyguard. So I'm guessing he's good with a blade. So far, the victims have only come from the 3 towns that are sacrificing people to the Frostmaiden. And that's what passes for civilized behavior in Icewind Dale these days. What I think happened is these 3 people found a way to cheat the system. They took their name out of the lottery, and they got found out that they were cheating. And I think Sefik killed them because I think he's working for the Frostmaiden. The Frostmaiden can't get what she feels she is owed. She will take it anyway. So I did follow Torgs for a good 10 days as it moved from town to town. It's quite a devious little enterprise, but that's not really of concern. But what struck me is how comfortable Sefik looked in this weather. He doesn't wear a coat or a scarf or gloves. He's just a human out in the cold, like the cold couldn't touch him. It's the kiss of the Frostmaiden. That's what I like to call it. I've seen it before.
You've seen other people with this kiss of the Frostmaiden recently?
Not recently, but in the past, there are people who are devoted to her, and she grants them certain favors.
So, Lynn, you're telling me there's people running around naked?
Sure there are. I don't know about all that, but I'd be willing to pay you if you could apprehend Sefik Keltro, and determine if he's guilty, and deal with him. Preferably without involving the authorities. They're just going to get in the way. If you can complete the job, return to me, and then you can collect your money.
Do you need him alive or dead? And what evidence are you expecting to find?
As much as it might surprise you, I don't really need any particular evidence as long as the matter is dealt with.
And you would need some proof that it was dealt with.
Preferably. Well, I'm willing to pay up to 100 gold pieces of my own money to get this murderer taken care of.
We all see Jack's eyes light up.
Did.
The dollar signs went like bloop, 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 bloop in his eyes.
If I
And
can,
if he's that dangerous, and
If-
wait, Earl.
why are you so interested in apprehending this person, especially if the authorities aren't showing an interest? Is there a personal reason for this?
You know, I've asked myself the same question a few times. I don't know. It might just be boredom. It might be some kind of sense of moral decency. But no one else is going to be bothered with this. I haven't been on a case in so long, so I took it up. I'm not as fast as I once was, and I lost track of them. That's why I need to hand it off. I can't keep up with this traveling group anymore. Not in this cold. Not with this age.
You need someone to be your eyes, ears, and brawn, in other words.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, this is our best lead so far.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Finding someone who works for the Frostmaiden, I think, is a huge
I'd be
boon.
interested to know more about this Frostmaiden's touch. Especially if you can saunter out there without any winter gear. How is that happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was everything that she knew. So the challenge begins with finding Torgs. They've moved on from here already, and I didn't know where they plan to go next.
Did you ever get in an altercation with Sephic before? Or have you kept your distance this whole time?
I've kept my distance mostly. I've purchased some things from their caravan on occasion, just to get a closer look. But I haven't directly confronted them.
So do they go around as traders? Kind of like
Yeah, they
move about notice?
They basically have a mobile shop. They go from town to town selling wares. I found occasionally selling stolen items at a markup. Sometimes cheating people out of their they're just making bad deals and then leaving town. The dirty dealings aren't as much what my concern is.
Do you know where would be a good place to get a lead of where they might have gone?
I'm
follow
not
them?
sure. We could. They were here. They were present in the town where every one of these murders took place. The last I heard of, they were in Bryn Shander. But I'm sure by now they've left.
And you say these murders have taken place only in the towns with a human sacrifice?
Yeah, so far there have been 3 murders in the last month, and each one was in one of the towns where with a sacrifice. And I believe the victims were all people who tried to cheat the system.
They're trying to bring a twisted sense of justice. Okay.
Well, do you think maybe in the morning we should try to find out more about the person here, see if he had any family we could talk to, and then maybe we go back to Bryn Shander?
She will talk a little bit about the human shipbuilder. His name was, looking up his name, the one in Targos, the victim, his name was Rended Gregutra. I just lost it. Rended, he was working here as a shipbuilder. He does have family in East Haven, but no one here was close to him. He was working here for several months building a ship, but he was not originally from Targos.
Do you know anything about the third murder that did not take place in Bryn Shander?
The furthest one back was a halfling from East Haven who was a trapper. She was. Her name was Cal from East Haven, a halfling.
And do we have any sense of, like, in terms of when the murders took place? Was it like right before or right after the timing of a sacrifice?
Not
Like,
entirely. This most recent one in Bryn Shander was this is the most time between a sacrifice and a murder. I think it has more to do with when Sefik is in town. That's what they have in common. Is each time one of these murders was found, they're all found in the early morning with a dagger of ice through their heart. Each one, Torg's traveling caravan was in town that day.
we could go to the dwarven. You said there was a dwarven shop in town?
Yeah, so there is
Craft Grendels.
Dwarven craft shop.
We could go there in the morning, see if they have any further information on the dwarves and maybe like their travel schedule.
And Lynn will say, like, I'm not sure if any of these shops would have more information about them. I don't know that they really share their schedule with anyone else, but I'm sure it doesn't hurt to ask. Torx has not been back in Targos since that day of that murder. Yeah, and so with that, it's getting late, so Elena's going to want to head off to bed. But she is excited to have someone willing to help with this case.
Lynn, are you sticking around this town for a while?
Likely, yes. I will be here for at least another 10 days.
Where do we find you when we're done?
So she'll be able to say she'll be here for another 10 days, and then she's heading to East Haven, and she will be there for quite a while. So if you're within the next 10 days, she'll be here. Otherwise, she's heading to East Haven.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yep.
And she thanks you, and she heads to her room.
Well, what do you guys think? Do you think it's worth going back to Bryn Shander because that's the hottest part of the trail, I guess? I know we just left, but
And East Haven's pretty far from here, correct?
East Haven was closer to Bryn Shander. You kind of went the opposite way. As far as distance, I can get you try and get you the distance calculation from Targos to Bryn Shander. You're looking at 3 miles. It's not super far. From Bryn Shander to East Haven, it's about 14 miles.
Okay.
So you think you can get there in about from Bryn Shander to East Haven, walking on the road like you were, you think you can get there in about 7 hours. So it's a good 90 minutes to Bryn Shander, and then about 7 hours to East Haven if you're heading that way.
Okay.
Maybe we camp here for the night and then go to Bryn Shander in the morning.
I think that's smart. We might be able to get a lead on like at least what direction they went, like if because they would have left very recently within the last like day or two. Someone might have seen them,
Mm-hmm. And we can maybe find out more about that glass blower and talk to the family.
Yeah. I agree.
All right.
A plan.
Man, I guess we won't have time to go by the Dwarven craft store. We'll come back later.
I'm sure we'll be back.
I mean, you could in the morning if you
Should've
want
got-
to before you leave. But
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to hold up progress. We got to get these folks before they leave. I should have got half up front. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm slipping. So watch me.
Oh.
This guy's probably going to be worse than she let on.
Oh yeah, I'm quite sure. Some anointed of a god. Yeah.
Yeah, this person will only be like a level 15. We'll be fine.
We didn't even negotiate, but I just can't somebody go around killing people.
all right, you guys going to bed for the night?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
During the night, you do hear some scurrying in the walls. It seems to be rats in the building.
It's just like home.
Are we sure it's rats and not something else?
You can make a perception check.
Yeah.
Dewey has the urge to chase them, but is like trying to go back to sleep.
Jack sleeps like a rock.
I mean, it's like one of those things where like I'm probably like looking at the corner in the wall, like with big wide eyes,
17.
It sounds very much like rats. You don't really notice anything else. It's just you hear it scurrying and running, and it's mostly in the walls of your room. So the interior walls of the building seems hollow, and rats are getting around. But other than that, you're able to sleep all right and wake up to a fresh day. So it is now the 4th, if I'm doing my counting correctly.
How early is it the next day?
How early do you guys want to wake up? Because you've been going to bed super early in the afternoon, and so this is the first day you kind of stayed up a bit. But I'm assuming it was like 11 o'clock or so you went to sleep. Wasn't crazy late, but you were all probably pretty tired by then.
I'm guessing like a 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Yeah, 7's fine.
Yep, you wake up. It's still dark. You do still see the glowing aurora in the sky.
All right, Jackie, you stopping anywhere?
No, I'll find another opportunity. We should get on the road.
And yeah, as you step outside, you do see plenty of activity along the docks. People getting nets ready, getting equipment ready, getting set up with crampons to walk out on the ice. All the stuff getting ready for a day of fishing. But yeah, you can head out and head back to Bryn Shander. By the time you get there, you're probably after 9 o'clock, you're just seeing the first signs of light in the sky before sunrise.
Still good weather?
It has been, since that blizzard you had a couple days ago, it's been pretty good. It hasn't even been snowy or overcast. It's just been clear sky, cold.
Cool. When we get into town, can we maybe ask the guards if they have seen the Torgs lately going in and out of town?
Yeah, so when you get up to the gate, it's actually still closed. So you'll have to wait probably a good 10 minutes or so before they open the gate for the morning. So it's not bad timing. The guards at the north gate have not seen. They know who you're talking about. They have not seen them in a few days.
Do they know when they left and what direction? If they remember?
Switch back to Bryn Shander. They sit and think about it for a moment. They came in through the north gate, and they did not leave through the north gate. So they most likely left out through the east.
Okay. And it was a few days ago that you saw them come in?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. At least we have a direction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, should we figure out where the glass blower is?
Yeah.
That's good to me.
Didn't we find out where the glass blower was from the house of the Trident? Or
They had heard of it. I don't know that you got a specific location.
okay.
He was dead next to his shop.
Yeah. So
We
go ahead,
just don't know where the
make as a group, make an investigation check.
So all of us roll a d.
Yep.
Oh, that's what.
Basically, see how many successes versus how many fails.
I got a 13.
I rolled a 20.
Wow.
21.
Is that your first nat 20, Alyssa?
It is. Feels
Nice.
great.
It's a special
Jesse, what
day.
did you get for investigation?
19.
19? Okay. Yeah, it doesn't take long, but you probably ask a couple people where the glassblower shop is, and they'll point you over. It's not too far in the north section of town. I don't have a marker for it, but it was up here. Basically, you heard the story that he was found in the morning, in between these two shops. And look, if you go there now and look, it's everything's been cleaned up. There isn't really even any signs anything happened here. The shop is closed.
We knock on a few neighbors or passers-by, see if they got any info from that night, seen or heard anything, remember anything.
There are very few passers-by, just because the limited amount of outside activities people are doing. And actually knocking on a few nearby houses, you found several of them around here have been abandoned, it seems. So it takes you go a block or two before you find someone to talk to. But you do eventually talk to a few people. You don't get a whole lot of new information. people are basically repeating the same story that you've already heard.
Did he not have any family or anything?
He did not seem to have family in town here that anyone knows of. There's plenty of people who have bought stuff from his shop and knew him. But yeah, they don't know who would have done it or any kind of motive or anything like that.
Well, guys, there's another possible pattern. It's a second person with no family and no connection, so someone who could be easily missed.
Yeah.
For some reason, he just avoided the lottery or wanted to. They find out that they're chosen, I guess, and have some hours beforehand. They just slip off or something, or try to get away.
Yeah, basically, from what you're told is basically they have someone outside in the town center who basically picks a name from a hat, from a big bunch of names. And so a lot of the townsfolk gather around when it happens to find out. But yeah, whoever is picked, the militia basically just takes them and kicks them out of the city.
Well, we don't find them right away. We know where they're going next. We just follow the name draw.
Yeah. And yeah, with those rolls, that's all you found. You spent a couple of hours like talking to people and looking around.
So
Is there anything else you want to do here, or do you want to? We could wrap it up for tonight. Or we could do a new thing. Was coming to the end of our time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess our next step would be trying to follow their trail and see if they go to East Haven.
And so I'll say, with a natural 20 on your investigation, I'll say you can get confirmation that Torgs basically left town the day after the murder happened and headed out the east gate. No one knows where they were really headed from there, but that's the way they left Bryn Shander.
And the murder happened how many days ago? Sorry, it was like 2.
It happened on the 30th, and today, did I say it's the 4th? I forgot what day it is.
Okay.
Yeah, the murder happened on the 30th, and that was the night you guys. That was the day you. Wait, no, it happened on the 1st. You guys came into town on the 30th, and you left town. So on the 1st was the day of that murder.
Okay. But they left on the 2nd. So it's only been 3 days, which isn't too crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I suppose there's a possibility if they're carrying gear and we're walking, we could maybe catch up to them.
Yeah, from what we've heard, they have a whole caravan. It's not as big as the caravan you guys came across the mountains with, but they have multiple dog sleds and a couple wagons full of supplies. So they've got a good group of people in their company.
Okay.
Okay. I think we got an idea of what we can do next campaign.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all wanna?
Just
All right, so you guys want to call it there for night? I assume you just you find lunch somewhere in Bryn Shander and
Sure.
contemplate on what you learned for the morning, and we'll pick it up there next week.
Good place to stop.
All right, good investigating, and we'll be back next week. No brains got eaten in this investigation.
Well, that's good.
All right, thanks everyone who's been watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.